Welcome along. Now, massive speech on the steps of Downing Street earlier from Rishi Sunak. But let's put it into a bit of context, shall we? Sir Keir Starmer has lost the feminist vote to appease the trans community. He lost the working-class Brexiteers to appease Remainers. He lost a lot of normal people when he took money from climate lunatics. He lost the Jewish vote to appease vast swathes of the Muslim community. And now he's lost them. Who's he got, really? Where's his solid base? Who are they? Keir Starmer's worst nightmare is about to walk back into Parliament.
Keir Starmer, this is for Gaza.
Labour have been absolutely silent on Galloway. And it's very, very telling, isn't it? Compare that to what Sunak had to say today.
And it is beyond alarming that last night the Rochdale by-election returned a candidate who dismisses the horror of what happened on October the 7th, who glorifies Hezbollah and is endorsed by Nick Griffin, the racist former leader of the BNP.
Keir Starmer simply could not have made the full speech that Rishi Sunak made today. He couldn't say this either.
You cannot call for violent jihad. There is no context in which it can be acceptable to beam anti-Semitic tropes onto Big Ben in the middle of a vote on Israel-Gaza. And there can be no cause that you can use to justify the support of a prescribed terrorist group like Hamas.
And he certainly couldn't say this.
This week, I've met with senior police officers and made clear it is the public's expectation that they will not merely manage these protests, but police them. And I say this to the police: we will back you when you take action.
Calling out George Galloway's views, calling out the old from the river to the sea stuff, calling on the police to ramp it up against protesters and saying he'll deport anyone who comes here with extreme views. Sir Keir Starmer simply could never say that stuff because he knows that around 100 of his own MPs would disagree with him. And Labour has built a voter base of people like that. Therein lies a huge difference between the two major parties and the party leaders. I spoke to sources today involved with the Rochdale by-election. Now, they allege that local drug dealers and gangsters were intimidating voters, that anti-white and anti-Semitic racism was rife, that businesses were threatened with being firebombed if they showed support for a particular candidate, that someone tried to break into the home of the relatives of one of the candidates, their children had to be evacuated, there were threatening phone calls from mysterious foreign phone numbers, and of course, it doesn't take a genius to work out what's gone on with the postal votes, does it? On a turnout of around 39%, supposedly 75% of those votes were postal votes. 9,000 more postal votes than in the 2019 general election. Come on. We know what's going on here, don't we? I mean, the irony overload, I think, is this tweet from Sir Keir Starmer. Rishi Sunak is too weak to take on the extremists in his party and too weak to deliver the change Britain needs. My Change Labour Party is ready to deliver for the British people. Sir Keir Starmer has been silent on his own MPs getting hammered everywhere they go. He's been silent on the old marches. He's been silent on George Galloway. The Labour leader is trapped. He simply could not make the kind of speech that Rishi Sunak made today because scores of his own MPs wouldn't want him to, and he'd be slugging off the people that the Labour Party spent years cozying up to.